There would be some wrestling moves in this, however, though, including a power bomb, which that was actually surprising.
Oh yeah, it was like it was a reverse power, like not reverse power bomb, but like she reversed
Countered into a power bomb. Yeah. Stephanie during this would dump water on Trish, then pull down her pants and would smack her to the delight of the crowd, and especially Jerry Lawler.
No, of course.
Toward the end, while both Trish and Steph were down, Regal would get involved first by dropping the ref by grabbing him by his feet and then pulling him down. Then he'd place Trish on top of Steph. The ref would count before he could count the 3, though. The official, Regal, would place Stephanie's foot on the bottom rope, forcing the rope break. This would make Trish upset, obviously, and then she'd slap William Regal across the face. Regal would then deliver a neck breaker, taking her down. Stephanie would cover Trish and would get the win. 8 minutes, 29 seconds would be the recorded time for the match here. Stephanie McMahon Helmsley would be the winner.
We
each win it with 3 stars.
Yes.
This is, I believe, the first ever good rated women's match that we've done for JNC Radio. That is, of course, of the JNC Rewinds. Of course, nowadays, we talk about women's wrestling all the time on the show whenever we do our reviews of the modern current pay-per-views, and we've had a few really really good ones that we've covered. So nowadays we see great women's wrestling all the time. But
back then.
Back at this time, and I've been waiting for something like this. I've been waiting.
It's actually kind of sad how it's kind of sad how women's wrestling wasn't that big with what we had back then.
Yeah, because if you really think about it, there were some who honestly just didn't have, they were kind of brought in there like they were not wrestling fans, or like they weren't like wrestlers from before. They brought them through, trained them, whatever, the fundamentals, got them in there, and that was whatever. But there were some of course they were pioneers of their own time, but there were some really talented performers, there was of course Trish Stratus, especially later on, more so probably especially.
Yeah, she's still in her beginning phase.
You're still in her, because neither one were really really wrestlers. Not that Stephanie was a wrestler, although they did make her women's champion one time.
Yes,
but Trish hadn't really become a wrestling figure yet.
But you still had Trish. Later comes Lita. Then you have Jazz.
Yeah.
Then you have Victoria.
Exactly.
Then you have, I'll say they waste Gail Kim, but she was there too.
Yeah, and then even later on, you had Melina, you had Beth Phoenix, and
it's again, it's great how it is now, but we definitely should probably back then should have deserved more.
Oh, absolutely. So I hope down the road, when we do more of these, that we have more women's matches to, just be able to reflect and just remember in a more positive light. But this was definitely nice to see here.
Yeah, it was very nice to see.
So 3 stars from both of us. Good match. Very happy with that. Backstage following the match, Vince was pissed off about Regal's decision in this Steph and Trish match.
Never happy for his daughter. Never.
He'd air out his frustration and make a tag match for Monday Night Raw the next night, where it'd be Vince and Trish versus Regal and Stephanie. So next we'd have a 2 out of 3 falls / 3 stages of hell match, I'm going to call it, between Triple H and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Fantastic.
Yes, for weeks neither one could lay a finger on one another, which that added more fuel to the fire. Of course, there was a time on Raw where Austin delivered the star to Stephanie and Triple H couldn't retaliate. Then Triple H would deliver a pedigree to JR.
Because you know how close JR and Stone Cold were.
Yeah, so first stage is a regular match. I guess the scenario here is that a regular wrestling match would favor Triple H. Second stage is a street fight, and then the third stage, if necessary, is a steel cage match, as alluded to earlier. So
it's funny because obviously it's supposed to be a regular match, was supposed to favor Triple H. The street fight was supposed to favor Stone Cold.
Right.
And then whatever, steel cage.
Yeah, settle the score.
But the funny thing is, Stone Cold wins the regular foul.
Right.
Which is supposed to.
So Triple H would jump from the middle rope into a boot to the gut from Austin, which would go into a stunner, and Austin would win the first fall. So next would be the street fight.
Which, you would, again, It's Stone Cold's match.
And Triple H would
Triple H would win.
Would win that one. So here both men would get busted open on the street fight portion of the match.
Yeah, that was a great street fight.
Austin would start out for the second stage, destroying Triple H with a steel chair to the back. Triple H would take a back body drop through the announce table.
Yes.
Barbed wire 2x4 would be even brought into this match. And where have we discussed a show recently that featured a match that also involved a barbed wire 2x4? That would be the Hell in a Cell match between Cactus Jack and Triple H and No Way Out 2000, the year before. A show which, if you haven't already, be sure to check out. That is JNC Rewind number 12, No Way Out 2000.
Cheap
plug number 2.
Yes.
Yes. Getting back to the match once again. Had to get that in there, of course. Triple H would hit Austin with the sledgehammer, followed by a pedigree, which would win the second fall. And now we're on to the third and final stage, which is the steel cage. Both the steel chair and sledgehammer are also locked into the cage with the combatants.
Can't forget about the barbed wire.
Oh, yeah, of course, because that's going to bring up the next thing I was going to go over.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, that's like the next spot in the match I'm going to go over. But I guess another thing to point out here is I guess apparently you could not win this by escaping the cage.
Yeah, you had to win. You had to win in the ring.
Yeah, you had to win by pinfall or submission, whatever. So yeah, there was the, so both men were just bloody and battered. They would use the barbed wire 2x4 against each other's face. Brutal stuff. There were pedigree stunners, plenty of near falls. Of course, there was a spot where Austin would hit Triple H with the barbed wire 2x4. At the same time, Triple H would hit him with the sledgehammer. Damn. Both would fall, but Triple H would land on top of Austin in perfect position for the cover. He'd get the 1-2-3 and would defeat Stone Cold. Incredible match, damn near perfect, instant classic without a doubt.
So I was so tempted just to give it 5 stars.
But here's the reason why I guess we did not. We both agreed to give it 4 3/4. So a great rating. Truly incredible match. I guess the only questionable takeaway, which this is probably what prevented us from giving it 5 stars, was having Triple H go over Austin with Mania being around the corner, and of course Austin being the Royal Rumble match winner of that year. So I would not have gone that route. I mean, I don't know how you have like your number one guy who's about to be in the main event for the world title. Like,
considering
at this point, that's when they did go on to the main event and go for the world title.
Considering what, I was considering what led, because like Triple H went on to go face the Undertaker, that didn't work out so well.
Yeah.
Stone Cold still goes on to win the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah. So. Yeah, so I would never have the Royal Rumble winner lose at the pay-per-view right before Mania. I would just
never.
I mean, I get it's Triple H, I get it's another like big star, but I mean, as I said, he'd go on to have like a match with like Undertaker. You know, that was fine, whatever, I guess. But you're gonna have your top guy in the main event, and he loses here. So once again, didn't ruin the match. It was still great, but
that's just weird, and especially since Stone Cold. With all the history, him getting run down by Triple H, you would probably think Stone Cold would probably win this match.
Yeah, so 39 minutes, 26 seconds would be the recorded time. Triple H would win. After the match, Austin would stun Triple H because why not?
Yeah, had to get him over somehow.
Yeah, he had to go out on top. Whatever. Next, we'd have a singles match with Steven Richards with Ivory versus Jerry the King Lawler and Cat. Before the match, there would be a little pre-match prayer, if you will, between the right to censor. Taz would replace Jerry on commentary for this.
And I think for the rest of the night, too.
Yeah, I think so. He did. This we would both agree here, along with the hardcore title match, were both the only low points of the night. Stipulation here is that if Lawler loses, Kat would have to join the right to censor group, but if she wins, she would be able to get naked. What the hell am I even saying here? I'm just going to fast forward to the end. Steven Richards would look to use Ivory's women's title as a weapon, but he'd fail.
Yeah, Kat would fuck that up. Well, whoops.
You're good. Kat would look to hit Richards with the belt, but would hit Lawler by accident. Richards would look to go for the cover after that and would get the pin, causing Cat to join the right to censor. Winner would be Steven Richards. 5 minutes, 32 seconds.
Yeah.
Half a star from both of us.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Next, Michael Cole would interview Undertaker and Kane. Nothing really to say about the interview in particular here, other than can we just acknowledge like how jacked like Kane was at this point?
Yes. And I would be shitting myself if I was in Michael Cole's position, because you have like Undertaker in his American Badass phase, just wanting to kick someone's ass. Then you have Kane with his mask.
Yeah, this wasn't. Yeah, no, Kane looked like awesome at this point. This wasn't one of my favorite like Taker looks. I don't think.
It's still relatively hasn't hit the year mark yet, believe it or not.
Yeah, because he started doing it in 2000. So yeah, because the very early American Badass like look, I didn't really like it that much.
It's just
it took him like once we got like further in 01 and like by 02 and stuff like that. I liked it a bit better, but.
You definitely had a better theme song, though, in the beginning.
Oh, Rowan?
Yeah.
Of course.
In my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Well, that one, he had another theme before that when he first came back, but that was just pretty generic. But, no, this Rowan, can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
So, next we'd have a triple threat tag team match for the WWF Tag Team Championships. It'd be the Dudleys defending against the Brothers of Destruction, Kane and Undertaker, and E&C, Edge and Christian. One of the spots that... it always sticks out for me was the double chair shots to the head from Undertaker and Kane.
Yeah.
That was great. Well,
no, yeah.
As a spectator, maybe not for the people involved, because that's concussions and brain damage and.
Yeah, because because you just see Bubba and Devon just running up as fast as they can.
Yeah.
And then they just turn around and they just stand there like, oh, and they're like, oh wait, yeah.
Yeah. So. Then the tables match is obviously a specialty of the Dudleys. Probably somewhat up the alley. Probably have Kane and Undertaker as well. Like it's probably not too far off from like what they could fit into.
Mm-hmm.
Then Edge and Christian could probably just pretty much do it all back then. Toward the end, as Undertaker and Kane were looking to win it, Haku and Rikishi would get involved and would look to attack both of them. Eventually, the two pairings would fight their way up the ramp. While this is going on, the Dudleys would hit the 3D and Christian through the table and retain the titles. What? See, we were talking about the. Well, actually, we'll talk about something else later. So, we're talking about like the Triple H and Austin thing about like how like that was kind of strange that they did it that way, only for the fact that
nothing happened.
Like Austin's gonna go on to the main event the next month against The Rock. Triple H is gonna have a match with the Undertaker. What is Haku and Rikishi gonna do with Undertaker and Kane? Because Kane's
going to be fighting for the Hardcore Championship.
Yeah, he's in a triple threat match. Undertaker's in the match against Triple H.
Yeah.
So what is this?
Yeah, what was the fucking point? Did they resolve it like a night later or something?
I mean, I'm pretty sure they did something, but it's like, to me, like when it's like the second paper, it's like the last pay-per-view in between like Mania, Rumble, whatever. Like this is this kind of stuff you should be like, okay,
just connected to like
the next thing, or like you at least like. If you're not gonna do something like that'll carry on, do something where it just ends this night and like we're done, and then we can create something new and fresh.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like watching this, I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Well, I guess, but yeah. So I mean, this was fine. I mean, 3 stars from both of us. This wasn't.
Just it actually could have done better. If
it's actually probably would have been like a higher rating, like definitely a 3.5.
Yeah.
Had that not happened.
Yeah.
So Dudley boys would retain the tag titles. 12 minutes 4 seconds.
Yeah, obviously, Edge and Christian will be battling again with the Hardys this time.
Yeah, at the WrestleMania X7. For the match in the main event, there was an interview with The Rock. Pretty much.
Yeah, not typical Rock promo.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad, but I mean, it wasn't one of the more memorable ones.
I was actually upset.
Yeah. And it was kind of a short one too.
No, he just said one. No, I think wasn't Michael interviewing him.
Yeah, I think he was basically saying like his time as champion was kind of like ticking down, and
that's it. All he kept saying was tick tock, and then he left.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
So now we'd have the main event here. It'd be for the World Wrestling Federation Championship. It'd be Kurt Angle defending against The Rock.